Hello Varsa, how are you?
I'm doing good, Antra. How are you?
I'm good. So tell us more about you.
It's just a BTech engineer who is onto the entrepreneurship journey, constantly learning and doing things. I started working with the XCheck 4 months ago. So when you take a look at the news media today, the industry is quickly evolving. The first problem that we identified in the news space is that when you as a reader, you are reading certain news, you cannot be sure whether the news is authentic or not, whether that is coming from the credible source or not. Today, whatever article is published on the internet is news. The problem is news is supposedly an important thing that requires individuals' attention. And in today's world, that line has been blurred. The problem that XCheck is trying to solve is to protect the authentic journalism. So let's understand what the authentic journalism is. Whenever any journalist is investing any time on the ground in order to create news, that can be called as authentic journalism. When you as a journalist, you are trying to copy paste their content, you should not be called as authentic journalist because you are just building upon someone's work. Somebody has spent 20 hours trying to discover that news or at least create that news. You invest 1 hour and you have created a news on that. Who ultimately should be paid in this? Obviously this person, or people who are having a larger distribution supply chain are getting a more advantage to it. These PTI, ANI, they have an army of journalists across the India from which they source the news, and once they source, they provide it to their exclusive subscriber at a certain cost. But what happens is, as soon as the subscribers have published in their website, in 2 minutes their news are copy pasted by unknown parties. So what is happening is the revenue of this publisher is eaten away, and also the revenue of the PTI and AI, because ultimately these people are paying for that. At XCheck, we created a technological product that helps these news agencies protect their news distribution supply chain till the news is consumed by end readers.
So what's your approach with this XCheck?
Our approach that we realized is we should not be targeting the retail customer. Directly focus on the core source of news creation, because when you are able to protect the core source of news creation, everything else in the supply chain would be protected. Therefore, now we have pivoted from a product from publishers to the news agencies. So we are just focusing on the 4 clients at this point of time, which are the largest news publisher of India. So when the solution is integrated with their system, anybody who wants to get a digital copy from them, they would be able to get a digital copy, and you as a reader, you would be able to know, okay, the news that I see right in front of me was sourced by this person at this point of time and at this place. So you will have more confidence on what you are reading, and not to mention that it would minimize the misinformation or the false information that is circulating in the market, because as of today anybody on the website can create a news and say that we have received a news from PTI that Narendra Modi is going to do this and that. How me as a reader, how am I going to validate it? There exists no mechanism. But with XCheck, readers would be able to authenticate whether the news is coming from the trusted supply source or not.
And what will be the end impact? I mean, what will be the benefits for the customer?
So we have a different short-term, long-term impact that we foresee. On the short-term or very short-term impact would be, readers would be instantly able to know should I trust this news or not, because any news that has XCheck badge underneath it can be trusted, because it is coming from a trusted party and the trusted information is reaching out to you. That's the first part of it. The second part of it, in the span of 6 to 8 months, the news agencies would be able to see better profit for their news, because people who are copy pasting their news won't be able to do it. If they are able to do it, they would never get the badge. So their revenues would have a positive effect, and new channels would be opened up, because now to have that news you necessarily need to have a subscription with the news agencies. So their revenue would increase. The third part is all the authentic journalists who are right now struggling for their livelihood would see more and more sponsor, because when your company is making money, you obviously would be able to make money. That's impact on short 6, 8 to 12 months. On the longer period of 3 to 5 years, we see the minimizing effect of the fake news and the misinformation, because the ecosystem would be structured and all the parties would be answerable to each other. So anybody, assuming me as a publisher, I publish a fake news, the market would discover that with time and it would remember that. So everybody would be more concerned, and at least they would put their skill in the game, which currently is not available. Because I can write an article, I can delete article tomorrow. There is no answerability in that.
Okay, thank you so much and all the best for your startup.